Okay, so today I haven't finished episode 2 yet, but what I wanted to do was kind of just, throw in a little commercial break. I guess you can call it a commercial break. I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible. And like I said, I don't want to bore anybody. Just kind of want to share my mind, share my thoughts. Sharing makes the world evolve. That's the whole idea of all the things that have taken place on Earth. Is some guy come up with an idea, of course, to be recognized from our individuality. We keep it to ourselves until it's time to, put it out there to share it so that way it can grow, it can expand and be something, supportive of the human race. So I, I think with this one, what I want to do is just call it breaking down the science. Science is important. Science is a thing that we all need, that's been used since, the beginning of time. And, some people denounce science because of how some scientists are, but you can't denounce something just because of the way someone is. You got to take it, like I said, as a grain of salt. You got to deal with it accordingly. So I think that breaking down the science is relevant because you look at the three wise men. They had to use the study of science and the study of the solar system, the study of the cosmos, to actually find the star that represented the coming of the Christ. They had to, they had to use science. So they had to find themselves out there at night looking up into, the night sky, and just studying the solar system, studying it and practicing it and staying consistent with it until it came to the day where they said, oh, there it is. And then remember, as the story goes, they met up and like, wow, you was doing the same thing I was doing. Absolutely. So, and in sharing, it made it easier for them to evolve towards seeing the birth of the Christ. But I wanted to break down a couple cliches and kind of, expound on it a little bit, because I think that everything should have two sides, like a heads and a tail. Everything should, have, a front and a back, or maybe two heads, or, two tails, however you want to look at it. But No Man is an Island, I think that is relevant in the fact that everything that we see around us, has is the byproduct or the after effect of conquest and conquering. And when you look at the world, and especially dealing with the idea of the conquer mentality, it's a lot of destruction going along with that. A lot of lost lives, and it's a lot of things to be gained for the winner, but the loser loses a lot. And the crazy thing is, the loser loses a lot, and a lot of people are left heartbroken and heartache for years because of that. So that's why I think that so many things should have two sides to them. No Man is an Island. It is relevant in the ideas if you're dealing with that competitive style of nature of dealing with, the conqueror and conquest and taking over, and just running people out and moving your people in, or your compadres, or your friends, how you want to look at it. But I think that the flip side to No Man is an Island is the idea that because of how we are designed, on a molecular level, that we share the same elements that the island shares, broken down in the science of how we're built on the inside with our, the protons, neutrons, and the molecules, and the atoms, and the this, that, and the other, like speeding along. But I think that also in the idea that we're so much like an island is because an island sits out there, and it sits out there by itself amongst other islands, because there's, numerous amounts of islands on the planet. And I'm sure that they're not waiting for somebody to come and destroy them and tear them to shreds. I'm sure that if being that an island is alive, because it's taking in oxygen, is absorbing the sun, the grass is growing, trees are growing. If it's got fruit on it, fruit is growing and reproducing and falling down and dying and growing again. Same thing like human life. It's the same thing. It's the same. We're all affected, the same way. So I think that because the island is a relative of ours, it should also have its basis over our lives as well. How it exists, we should have some type of relation with that as to how we exist too. But I think because of control issues, control factors, and like I said, the idea of the conqueror, it takes away a lot of us having our human flexibility to expound on things. But The island, I think it looks for the proper inhabitants and hopes that if the improper people come, that the elements like the storms and the the waves and the qualls or whatever it takes to keep back the ones that don't belong on the island. That I'm sure it hopes that the elements does that. So I hope that I know the island is praying just like each and every one of us. We pray. I'm sure that is praying that it doesn't get the wrong people to come to stay on it or inhabit it and decide to be fruitful and multiply and not be fruitful. That I don't know. The island is probably thinking like, man, what? Who is these? Man, we got to get these people out of here. But all in all, no man is an island should have. I'm just saying two sides to it. So that way, when we do see people that kind of stand apart, that are by themselves, don't always look at them as being antisocial. Sometimes you gotta look beyond the cover of the book, and you gotta go and deep inside yourself to think, why does this person stand apart? Maybe if you took upon yourself to have some type of internal outreach program going on, then we could kind of see that, man, this person's like an island, it's fruitful. And then let's go kind of shave it down a little bit, see what we can discover in this human being. All of us, everybody's not the same, and people are looking for everybody to be the same, as if like we're coming off the divine assembly line the same, but the the creator doesn't make us the same. So I think to represent the cliche of no man is an island, it should have two sides. It should be no man is an island if you're dealing with the competitive conquer state, and because there's power in numbers, you need backing, you need some allies, you need some individuals to concur with where you are in this life, because universe has us all in a particular place in life. We need that community. So no man is an island because of the idea of community, but each and every one of us is an island in the idea that we exist around each other, just like the stars do, just like the islands do. We exist around one another and praying and hoping that we get the proper inhabitants to inhabit our lives, inhabit our atmosphere, our spirits, our hearts, our mind, and not just have somebody come in and just kind of just throw garbage out or litter or trash, however you want to call it. But I think that's relevant for us to be flexible enough to look at and weigh things out, and not just say it's like this and that's it. I mean, we live in a world that, as of yet, as we know, it has no end to it. It's going to go on forever. And by the time they start building spaceships, once they get out there, that's going to be eternal travel. They're not going to never ever find the end of space. So you're looking at something that has no end to it, period. And it's just like our cliches. They should never just be definite. Just define as such and leave it. That's it. You got to give room for humanity, give room for growth. And another cliche I wanted to kind of take a look at and elaborate on is the one that says, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Now, I can understand that again in the idea of we come from we're descendants. We are descendants of, conquest and conquerors. Everybody on the planet. That's what, built up every great nation on the earth, conquest and conquering. And, nowadays we still get great leaders that still kind of slide it in a little bit. They slide it right in, right in up under our noses, the conquest and conquer. And they slide it in and we just go right along with it, because the USA is a great place to be. Man, it's one of the greatest places on the earth, to be honest with you. It's the land of milk and honey. It's the place where your ideas can really grow as long as you can find the vehicle and the outlet to allow it to do so. It will flourish, because we're human beings. We want to know. Even though a lot of people fear the unknown, it doesn't stunt the fact of our curiosity. We want to know. So I think that with keeping your friends close and your enemies closer, like I said, I think that's okay if you're a conqueror and in your mind you just already know you want to obliterate your enemy anyway. So if they're next to you, I mean, there's like nothing anyway. So if you sit next to your enemy and you already know that they ain't nothing to you, to have them close to you, closer than your friends, it's not a bother. But I mean, well, I can't say that because even if you look at history, that cliche itself has foiled some empires, destroyed them from the inside out, like a virus, like a bad infestation. You see guys today, if you look at the news, that enemies are so close, they didn't even know they're so close, and they just done destroyed them right up under their noses. So it's everything should have a flip side. So I'm gonna say the add-on to that should be keep your enemies close, your friends closer, and your families closest. Keep your enemies close, your friends closer, and your family closest. Now, that's kind of self-explanatory, but I did kind of want to elaborate on it and kind of give you a picturesque view of what I was saying, give you a nice description. So, say you look at your life as if like it's a castle. You look at your family and your immediate compadres, your friends, your immediate surroundings. You look at it like we exist in a castle. Like King Arthur, he had the round table. So everybody in their life, they got a round table. They got some immediate people that they confide in. I mean, in real intimate moments in their life, they have people that they confide in. So if you if you look at your life as if as if it was a castle, you would say that you would keep your enemies close, your friends closer, and your family closest. So the closest ones are going to be inside the castle with you. The closer ones are going to be inside the castle with you. Now, the close ones, you can leave them on the outside of the wall. You know what I mean? Look at it. Because if your enemies are on the outside of the wall and not inside, and sometimes it's hard to tell, but you just sometimes you got to put up tests, and you gotta find loyalty. You got to find things. Life is a journey. It's about searching and finding things out. So but with the idea that your enemies are on the outside of the wall, it's just like having surveillance. Just like our technology today, you got surveillance everywhere. So and for some of us that aren't behind the cameras or behind the equipment, monitoring the surveillance. The surveillance is not for us. It's for the people that's running the surveillance, to keep an eye on us, to keep an eye on the people. Same thing with keep your enemies close. You keep them on the outside of the wall, then you can pretty much always have an idea as to what's going on in them, what they're doing. Now, to have them so close to where they breathing the same air you breathing and grabbing for the same tile you grabbing for and reaching in the same refrigerator you reaching in, I don't know about that. Because like I said, a lot of great people even today have been foiled because of that particular cliche. So again, I think that because we live in the universe, in space, I think that we should just have a more of a flexible uh flexible commentary on a lot of different things, so that way the generations to come, they can be more objective instead of being subjective to what already is. And what already is right now under the process of being changed. I mean, look at Amendment 13, and I don't even want to expound on that, but everybody knows, the world is changing, and a lot of different things are, popping up out of the woodwork on us, and some things are not agreeable to some people, but like I said, the greatest thing to get is understanding. If you're going and getting anything, get understanding, so you can at least understand why certain things are happening. And with that, I want to close out breaking down the science. I'll be back with episode 2. And with episode 2, I'm going to expound on what I just mentioned, understanding, because like I said, there's a lot of things popping up around the earth, and a lot of people, are taking some stands against, the system, and a lot of different things that have protected, certain individuals, protected the people, kind of neglected in some fashions, the people as well. So hopefully with where I'm at, You know, I know that I'm not the only one that thinks like this. I know I'm not the only one that is really trying to grow and see change take place, promising change, change that doesn't, you know, subject people as if like we're drones or you know, like the Borg from Star Trek, right? Yeah, nobody on the Earth is the Borg, but you know, we got a system that kind of defines us as such. You know, a numbering system that gives everybody a number and you know gives everybody a place and you know kind of makes it hard for the the inside life to just expound and get out to where everybody can you know continue to make everything grow in an expansion to where it's universal and the universe doesn't stop. It just keeps going. Time never stands still. So you know the human mind is always going. It's always awake. And I just think that a lot of different things from our past should be, some things should just be readdressed. So that way our future can have a more of a, like I said, an objective view of, you know, the world we live in. Nobody wants to be in a world where they're just, you know, subject to this and that's it. You know, everybody got questions. The world got questions. Even our leaders have questions, you know. So with that being said, I'm gonna close out, um, breaking down the science, and hopefully it was something in here, you know, to kind of graft it in somebody's mind to make them look at something different. Maybe you can help me see something, you know, a little more than, you know, what I have seen, and the world, even in and of itself, grow to a promising level. All right. God bless. Take care.